Without further ado, I'd love to jump right into the program. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually introduce each person as we go through. My name is Jason Neiman again. We've got Ryan Knupp, our executive chef. We've got Tammy Bales, our ministries associate director. Carrie Lee Phillips, our wellness center coordinator. Actually, Aaron. Aaron is here from Life Enrichment. We've got Melissa Dewey and we've got Leslie Lang. So we have one small change on that, but no big deal. We'll introduce each person as we start. So the first person I'm going to start with today is Tammy Bales. Tammy is one of our 3 chaplains at Givens Communities. She's been in pastoral ministry for 18 years and has been with Givens for 6 years in July. She has a BA in psychology and also a master's in divinity. So I'd like to welcome you, Tammy.
Thank you.
And I just have a quick question for you. And by the way, just real quick housekeeping, I forgot to mention this at the beginning. If you do have any questions throughout the program, feel free to go to the Q&A section on your webinar link that's down at the bottom of your webinar panel, and send in a question and we'll do our best to try to either answer it in line while we're going, or we'll make sure we try to address it at the end. So Tammy, sorry, I interrupted you. Question for you that may get us started. In this time of social distancing and isolation and everything we're going through, how does a person stay spiritually renewed? How do they stay whole at this time?
Great question. I think we're finding ourselves kind of in a strange place. We're not here, we're not there, we're somewhere in between. And when I say that, what I mean is it's not what it was and it's not what it will be yet, but we're kind of in this strange kind of zone. And so I know a lot of people, they're either thinking I'm enduring this, or they're watching the news asking themselves, when is it going to end? But instead of doing that, I think we can embrace this time for what it is and see ways that we can grow during this time. And so some of the things I think we can do spiritually is, if you do something routinely or done something routinely throughout your life, I think it's important that you continue to do those things. It kind of makes your day seem normal. So if you were used to getting up every morning at, let's say, 7 a.m., making your bed, doing that thing, you need to keep doing as much of that as you can to keep in sync with your normal life. I think that's important. I also think rituals, things that we do intentional, are extremely important. So if that's prayer, if that's meditation, if that's just some deep breathing or just being silent, kind of to start your day off that way. And then anytime during the day that you may be feeling maybe a little anxious or have some anxiety, just kind of regroup and kind of do those things again. I think that's important. Also, creation is a big part of spirituality. I think getting outside, getting in the sun, taking a walk, planting some flowers, anything like that, that's important for each day. Especially we're having some pretty days now, so get out there while you can. Also keep connected with other people. And that can be a lot of different ways. You can call, you can write letters, or you can send cards. I love cards. I have cards all in my office and I keep them. And what's great about a card is when you're having a rough time, maybe not be the best day, you can pick it up and read it. And when you read it, it just brings back so many feelings when you first got that card. So those are important things. If you have a faith-based community, stay as connected as you can with that community. Sometimes, we're doing that virtually now. We're doing that virtually here. We're doing our services all virtually, and also we're providing daily devotions for our residents. It's so that they can still see us. And what's odd is some residents are getting to know us in a different way, which is kind of fun. And some think that they know us and we've never met. So that's another great thing. And you may not be able to touch people physically at this time, because of physical distance, but you can always hold someone in your heart. You can always do that. It's important also during this time to tell people how you are feeling. To share how you're feeling with them. because you'll find out that they're probably feeling the same way that you are. And so that just helps to unburden yourself, but it also takes that off of you. I also say music, because music too, we know is a big part of worship. It's important, and music can be healing and uplifting. I like to sing a little song every morning. It kind of stays with me throughout the day. I'm an 80s girl, so I like those 80s tunes. And you can also try something new or different during this time, something maybe you haven't done before, or maybe something you used to do in the past and you said, well, I haven't done that in a long time, and that's something I can do and I enjoy doing. I think that's important. Also, I think it's good just to be grateful and thankful. So take this time to write down those things, maybe every day, just one thing, or it could be several things that you're just grateful for in that day. Being grateful and appreciative, I think, just puts things in a different perspective. You know, right now we're looking at all this through what I say, the windshield. But there will be a time when we are looking at this through the rearview mirror. And I don't want this virus and everything, a lot of this disease, to be what defined us, but I want it to be the kindness that was displayed during this time that defined us.
Absolutely. Well, you're sure showing that at this point, and
I love
you're
it.
putting it.
I love my
the
people.
passion is there. We can tell very clearly, and the residents at Gibbons, I know, are very appreciative for all the extra effort you're putting in at this time, and all of your peers. Thank you for that, Tammy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm going to move on to Melissa Dewey. Melissa is she's a registered nurse and minimum data set coordinator for Gibbons Estates Health Center. She's been with Gibbons Estates for just over a year, but she's practiced nursing for a very long time. She put that in her bio, very long. She had multiple longs. She also was a professor of history and economics at Auburn University and at the State University of West Georgia. In her free time, Melissa practices the fiber art, spinning, weaving, crocheting, which she was just doing a minute ago. If you didn't see that, knitting, sewing, and obviously you're about to learn about that. So obviously, Melissa, we know that part of staying spiritually well is, giving back to other people. And at this time when each of us, obviously feel alone and sometimes helpless during this time, and really focused on ourselves and not as much about other people, what is the role that giving or that connectedness plays in our lives? And how can we do this even when, we're isolated and not able to touch people physically?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jason, and hello to all of you. Before I share my experiences and thoughts on this 5 to Thrive topic of giving and social connectedness, I want to consider a quote that's often attributed to Winston Churchill. He said, "We make a living by what we gift, but we make a life by what we give." Now, Winston Churchill certainly knew difficult times, and we're now in our own. Even without the vast worries of a pandemic, though, we may feel that we're in a difficult period of life itself. For our senior years may seem to us to be a time when things are done with or for or even to us, rather than our doing things for others. At all times, though, as Churchill observed, our willingness to think of and do for others is a gift we can give, and it is one that is returned. Now, I want to tell you why I've been thinking about these things and why I was asked to speak about them. First of all, I normally do pretty technical work. I spend a great deal of my time here at Gibbons Estates compiling reports for the state and federal governments. But lately, well, there's a pandemic on. So lately, I've been sewing. As we and all the world went into lockdown, a clear need arose for certain small sewn items, headbands with buttons to relieve our ears from the pull of mask elastic, button-sided caps for the folks in dining services. So a small team made up of myself, another nurse here, Mary, and Shelley, a volunteer from the community. We all joined forces with 2 sewing groups that were already in the independent living population at Gibbons Estates. These sewing groups were and are sewing masks for their fellow residents. So our team put together a book of patterns. Do you remember Rosie the Riveter? Well, this is the year of Susie the Seamstress, okay? And then we turned and we divvied up cloth. Mary and I went out to the parking lot in March. This is me, and this is Mary. And we cut cloth off the tailgate of my truck. We dusted off and we oiled up our little featherweight machines. Mine's a 1941 and Mary's got one from 1951. And then, just as our mothers and our grandmothers in their time knitted socks and other small things they called comforts for the soldiers in the wars, we went to work. We sewed and we sewed and we sewed. There are a lot of people here, and I tend to specialize in superlatives. As we finished small batches of items, because there was such immediate need, because people's ears mainly were breaking down from the elastic, we went everywhere. We went to the health center, we went to assisted living, we went to independent living, and we were finding those people who needed what we were making. We distributed headbands and caps and advice. Nurses are big on advice, and we did it all for no charge. And I want you to see, we worked with nursing, and we worked with dining services. We worked with groundskeepers, and we worked with environmental services. We worked with therapists and the fabulous folks that are in life enrichment. This is Rosie, my only ballet student, okay? And then we even made a few things for administrative types of people, all right? We talked and worked with lots of people here. And these are people that, even though Givens is a really friendly place, we'd never really had the opportunity to meet them. And something wonderful happened. We realized, Mary and Shelley and I, that our own worries and concerns were easing and calming as we focused on others. In other words, as we gave and interacted, as we busied our hands for a good cause, as they might have said 100 years ago, we found for ourselves some measure of peace. And I want to build on this. Here at Givens Estates, we have what is known as a cluster for each group. A cluster is a group of residents, and they check in and touch base with each other, and they also do the same with various staff. Everyone here in the independent living is part of a cluster. This is a strong concept, and it's one that works well in this discussion because, you know, each of us has a cluster. I don't know what you can see on your screen, but I see a bunch of people here, and everybody has their cluster, this network within which they live. These are the people that you check in with whom you touch base, and these are the ones that for whom you do the same. So think about this. Those of you that are listening, who is your cluster? It may simply be those who are with you in your house right now. It may be those that you can reach by telephone or by social media. It may include a plant or a pet or the birds outside your window at the feeder that you fill for them each day. Once you've realized that you're in this web of relationships, there's only one real question in this discussion to ask yourself, which is, what can I do? In this time of social distancing, when we're alone, I'm here behind an acrylic screen from Mary, okay? How can I get that sense of connectedness and give to those in need? How can I find a center and some purpose? Obviously, you could join a sewing group or a cooking group. These can be hosted virtually, or you could work alone and then donate it. You might like to be part of governance. Okay, we've got a resident council here at Givens Estate. They're doing a lot of these programs that I'm discussing. If governance is your style of giving, then do it. Find a group and work with them to serve others. But apart from these organized activities, there are really a number of small, very precious things that everyone can do every day. As Tammy mentioned, plant some flowers, grow some tomatoes, but maybe do this where others can see your plants as they grow and thrive. Wave to folks as they go by, smile. It's easy. Outdoor gardening brings joy to everyone who does it and everyone who sees it. Get yourself some sidewalk chalk. This is not chalk, this is a prop, but you know the thick pieces of chalk, get yourself some. Head out to your part of the sidewalk and chalk the walk. We did that here. Some people took their chalk and drew pictures, others wrote words of encouragement and hope, and somebody put a riddle in it, and it's still bothering us because we haven't solved it. Each day at home, do something thoughtful. Sketch a little drawing on the napkin next to someone's meal. Pick some fresh flowers from the table. Write a quick card and pop it in the mail. Send one to Tammy, okay? She loves cards. And you might remember, and this was touched on as well already, to thank those who serve you. Being grateful requires that you feel connected. So notice and mention the good things. This will tie us together. I want to wrap up by noting that when we think of giving, big word, we tend to think that this giving has to be large, but it doesn't. The fact is, whatever you do for those you help, it will be good because you will be giving. And this gives you connectedness. And this is what, as Sir Winston reminded us, makes a life. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Melissa. What a great amount of information in a short amount of time and very valuable. Thank you so much for sharing that. And, you know, let me, on behalf of everybody, thank you for the work that you're doing from a volunteer standpoint. Every time I've seen you in the last couple of weeks, you've been sewing. So I know you're doing a lot of work, and I know your partners are as well.
It's been a real privilege. Thank you.
That's great. Okay, let's move on to Miss Carrie Lee Phillips. This should be a fun little piece of time here. Yeah, that's good. We're about to get a little bit more active here. Carrie Lee Phillips is our wellness coordinator. She started coaching in 2011 with USATF and became a personal trainer actually with ACSM CPT certification in 2016. She added specialty training through ACE as a functional training specialist, which is very important, obviously. And she has worked in senior fitness for the past 2 years, and I would guess learning every single day more and more how to transition some of the mainstream things into what's going on in the senior space. And she is the wellness coordinator, obviously, of Givens Estates. And so, Carrie, you've got a tough job because normally you're obviously in connect with a lot of the residents on a regular basis. You're, in person with them. So when you're not able to do that, what are some of the recommendations that you have for seniors who want to stay active and healthy and keep moving and do the things that they're doing? What are some of the things that you recommend?
Yeah, so I think Tammy mentioned earlier about getting outside and going for a walk. That's something that everybody can do, and studies have shown that being outside in the sunshine is great for relieving stress, for building endorphins. To literally stop and smell the roses is so great for your mental health. But once or twice a week, I want you to challenge yourself and try to do an interval workout. So walk with intention. And what an interval workout is say you walk briskly for 1 minute. So walk at a faster pace, really get that heart rate up. And then for the next 4 minutes, you walk at more of a relaxed pace. Repeat that 4 times, and that's a 20-minute workout right there. So the importance of an interval workout is it raises that heart rate and then lowers it. So you're burning more calories, and you're also strengthening your heart muscle and cardiovascular endurance. So throw in an interval workout. It's better than just the steady state cardio as far as burning calories and increasing cardiovascular strength. Also, what you want to be doing is stretching. I like to stretch first thing in the morning when I wake up, and then also towards the end of the day when our muscles are tight. A tight muscle is a sore muscle, and tight muscles can also lead to injury and can cause circulation issues. So I'm going to show you 5 stretches that you can do throughout the day to fit our 5 to Thrive theme. So I want everyone to do them with me, so I'm going to back up my chair so you can see. All right, y'all, get ready. Okay, so we're going to start with neck roll. So take a big deep breath in. Exhale, we're just going to gently rock our head from side to side. Relieve the tension that's in your neck. A lot of people carry stress in their neck, and this is a great way to get rid of it. All right, we are going to pause in the middle and slowly roll up. We're going to spread our feet apart a little bit. Press your body weight into your feet. Find your hip bones. Take a big deep breath in. As you exhale, lean forward. And we're going to bring it around town is what I call this one. You should feel a nice, good stretch in your lower back. Oh, yeah. Loosen that back up. All right, let's pause in the middle and slowly roll it up 1 vertebrae at a time, all the way up. Reach up. We're going to stretch out that left leg. As you exhale, lean forward, touch your toes. Stretch it out. All right, and then we're going to slowly roll it up. And next, what I want you to do is take that leg, put it underneath your chair. Take a big deep breath in, exhale, lean back. Oh, you should feel the left side of your body opening up here. Woo. All right, relax. Take that left foot, put it on top of your right knee, and gently push that knee down. And this is a great stretch for your hips. A lot of women have carry problems in their hips, so this is a great way to relieve the tension there. All right, and then you're just going to shake it out a little bit. And then you would repeat the same stretches for the other side. All right, so those are 5 stretches that you can do in the morning and at night. Be sure to drink plenty of water too, because as you stretch, you release lactic acid into your bloodstream. So it's important to flush all that lactic acid out. That's kind of what we've been doing here at Gibbons. We've been having daily exercise classes through our live stream. So we've been doing yoga, cardio classes. We've been doing strength training with items in the household. So I've done a paper plate workout and it was awesome. We did it for joint strengthening and it was a really fun workout. So it's been interesting to come up with new ideas to keep people active and healthy. And it's been great too, the feedback that we've been getting, because a lot of people have come up to me that weren't regular class participants. They were intimidated by a group exercise setting. So I've gotten some phone calls saying, Carrie Lee, you know, I didn't come to your group exercise before because I didn't feel like I could exercise, or I felt like I would be behind or I couldn't do it. And now I realize I can exercise too. And these classes that you've been doing have helped me grow stronger and more flexible. And they've told us how they can't wait for group exercise to start back again. And they're looking forward to joining us once everything opens back up. That's been really awesome to hear. And we are going to have a recorded cardio workout that I put on. So it's lots of fun. It's going to be on our website. I think we're still editing that, but it will be available for everyone to see. So if you want to check out the workout, you can find it on our website. And I have a list too of some YouTube channels that have been really great that I've recommended for our residents here. So if you go to YouTube and you search Physical Therapist Bob and Brad, they are awesome. They're hilarious. They've been physical therapists for a long time, and they show you great exercises for hip flexors. They did a fall risk workout. So they're pretty awesome, and like I said, they're hilarious together. Another one I'd recommend is Walk at Home by Leslie Sampson. She does 20-minute, 25-minute, 30-minute workouts that you can do in your home. So it's an aerobic exercise, and it's so much fun. If you like dancing or line dancing, you'll really enjoy her classes. And if you don't visit any of those two, be sure to visit this one. It's growyoungfitness.com. And the guy that puts it on is named Darren. And he posts a daily workout every day for seniors, and he also has some great tips about staying safe in these times. So he puts up tips about going to the grocery store and what to look out for, that type of thing. He's pretty awesome. So I would recommend those 3 for sure.
Great. Thank you so much. Now I don't have to go to the gym. Home gym. I should say the home gym.
Outside.
Yeah, clearly. So thank you for taking the time to do that. I'm sure that everybody will get some great exercise over the next couple of weeks, even though we're all stuck at home, unfortunately. Okay, let's move on to Ryan Knupp. Ryan's an executive chef of 2 of our new venues, and we've got some new venues at Gibbons that are getting ready to launch. The Social Brew, which is our sort of bistro type coffee and bar. And then we've also got Terrine, our sit-down restaurant, which is going to be amazing. Ryan's been with Gibbons Estates for 8 years in August. And though he's been cooking professionally since 2004, you know, he's obviously got a ton of experience and brings a lot of knowledge to our team. He's an Asheville native, but he did receive his culinary degree at Le Cordon Bleu in Atlanta, Georgia, and he's worked up and down the East Coast, New York to Atlanta, and several stops, obviously, in between. So I'd like to welcome you, Ryan, first of all, and wanted to ask you if you had any recommendations on how seniors can maintain, you know, healthy habits healthy eating habits in particular, given the current situation we've got going on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, thank you for the introduction. And we partner with our registered dietitian, Susan Smith, and we work together to kind of build some recommendations to help you build those healthy eating habits. So the first recommendation is eat whole foods, or foods that are based on whole ingredients. So what that means, a whole food is fresh fruits or vegetables, low fat, dairy, or their coconut or almond or soy alternatives. So everybody likes to snack, but you want to avoid those chips, the candy, or maybe even those frozen TV dinners. Some good alternatives instead of the chips. I love to take some Brussels sprouts, drizzle them in a little olive oil, roast them in the oven until they're nice and crispy, and that's a great alternative to the chip. Or you could do some homemade carrot chips, really simple. If you have to have popcorn for a movie, instead of buying the microwave popcorn from the store, just pop it on the stove. It helps you control the fat and the salt content, and it's a lot healthier for you than the store-bought microwave. Also, if you have a sweet tooth, great time of year for it. A lot of whole fruits can really scratch that itch for the sweetness. Or if you just have to have chocolate, a modest amount of dark chocolate, 1 to 2 ounces, really, that'll scratch that chocolate itch as well. The second tip, avoid snacking when you're bored. If you're like me, you'll check the refrigerator 400 times when you're bored, and maybe 401 just to make sure nothing else appeared in there magically. But we want to try to stay occupied with hobbies or projects around the house, and even the exercise, that great routine that we just saw. So, try to keep your mind occupied. If you can't help it, try some of those snack alternatives that I just went over. And a quick tip, your body can mistake thirst for hunger. So sometimes the signals get crossed and you're thirsty, and your body actually makes you think you're hungry. So if you intake some fluid, it can squelch those hunger cravings. Which brings me to my next point: stay hydrated. The recommendation is 8 glasses a day. It helps, boost the immune system. It helps make you feel full, and some water just makes you feel better. A lot of different drinks you can have. You want to avoid those with artificial sweeteners or colors. And then, you want to limit your caffeine intake to about 100 milligrams a day. And you want to limit your alcohol intake to about 3 drinks per week, 1 drink a day for women, 1 or 2 drinks a day for men. And again, I got all this information from our registered dietitian, Susan Smith. And you can also go to choosemyplate.gov for a lot of information on helpful snacking and an array of other information.
Great. That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, let me ask you something else. What are you doing currently in the kitchen? Just as I'm sure people are curious, what you're doing right now to make sure that the seniors on campus have access to adequate nutrition right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing we're doing 2 deliveries a day for the independent living residents, and 3 deliveries for assisted living residents. So we deliver lunch and dinner. It's a no contact delivery. You call in on the phone, you order what you would like, and then we deliver it to your door. So it's a great way for folks to be able to eat lunch and dinner without having to go out. The second thing that we offer is variety. I'm going to show you a menu. This is our entire cycle menu for 1 week. So it provides we provide a lot of variety. Just to go over a few stats, 6 different sandwiches per week, 7 different vegetarian options if you like a vegetarian option now and then. We also have 7 different salad options with a house salad every day, 14 entrees, 27 vegetables and starches, and 14 different desserts. So we keep things extremely varied we cook with whole foods and whole ingredients, so you're getting all of that adequate nutrition. And then the last thing we're doing, so we've partnered with Fresh Point, and we're offering these boxes of fruits and vegetables, and you can order several different sizes and types from, fruit, just fruit specifically, vegetables. We've got a To Your Health box. We've got a greens, comes with lettuce and all sorts of other greens. So it really just depends on what you want. And we deliver that right to your door every Friday. We also are doing a little take and bake pizza treat. So you call and you can order a pizza, and we'll deliver it to your door, and you just bake it in your oven. So that's kind of what we're doing to help residents get the adequate nutrition.
Wow, amazing. You guys are busy, right?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm sure everybody appreciates that. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. We appreciate you, Ryan, Chef Ryan.
Yeah, thank you.
Real quick side note, we're running a little bit long on time. We did want to just mention we will have this recorded, and it'll be up on the Facebook page and hopefully on the website as well. And so if you do have to jump off, you'll still be able to see the rest of this. We still have 2 people to get to, but we'd like to continue it because we've got some really good information continuing here. So I'd like to introduce to you Erin Strain. She's our Director of Life Enrichment, and she joined Gibbons back in December of 18 with the formation of the Life Enrichment Department. She has an MS in gerontology, worked in various types of aging services, national, state, local levels, and other LPCs, life plan communities. And so, Erin, I'd love to ask you, other than having a house full of kids that you're wrangling right now, can you talk a little bit to us about how to stay mentally engaged through the COVID-19 pandemic that we're dealing with?
Okay, sorry, I didn't know if I froze or if you just froze.
It's all good, no worries.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna make mine short and sweet since we are going over, but every single person that has talked before me has highlighted in one way or the other how important it is to stay engaged with your social network. And just because we are physically distancing ourselves from each other, it doesn't mean that we have to socially distance and be socially isolated, especially folks that live alone. If you're like me and you have a house full of children, you might wish that you were socially isolated sometimes. But so one way to do that, to maintain those connections, is with technology, and not just phone calls, text, emails. Those are great. It's important to reach out and have some type of conversation with someone every day. That's what the studies show anyway, that's the best for your mental health. And if talking on the phone is not your thing, letter writing, like Tammy said, or you could take it up a level and use some of this technology like today, webinars using this platform of Zoom. It's a fantastic way to stay in touch with your group, with your friends, with your family. We've had family dinners using Zoom, book clubs. My yoga class is doing Zoom classes right now. Churches, any group that you participate in, there's a way to optimize technology so that you can all meet together. Some people might say, well, I don't know how to do that. Well, not people on this call, because you obviously know how to use Zoom. But a lot of people said that they can't use the technology. And just yesterday, I got an email from a Cub Scout group and AARP that they are offering up free tutoring services over the phone to help walk people through how to use technology that they might need right now, such as FaceTime or Zoom. So that is something that folks can reach out to their local AARP chapter or their local Council on Aging. But stay connected. Don't be too socially isolated.
Awesome, thank you. And obviously, it's too bad you're not taking a Zumba class, because then it would be a Zumba. That was just a joke.
Yeah. There might be one out there.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Thank you very much, Erin. We appreciate the time you spent on that. And now, last but not least, I'd love to introduce Leslie Lang. Leslie's been with Gibbons for about 9 years. She has double degrees from Winthrop University, theater, dance, business, music, and has been in real estate and sales for 21 years. And Leslie, you are in a very unique position as a sales counselor for Gibbons because your mother is a resident at Gibbons Communities. So what have you noticed about your mom's ability to thrive currently during this pandemic?
Thank you. First of all, I want it to be known that we offered for my mother to come and move in here with us, but she refused. She says, I don't want to leave my home. I like it here. This is where I am safe, and this is my community. So obviously, I have to support her with that, and I wanted her to feel welcome in my home as well. But I didn't think that she would be able to stay as busy as she was. And she was a little concerned about it at first, that she would just be holed up in her apartment. But she's not. My mother lives in independent living, and she is constantly on the go. I always have to call her first thing in the morning because that's the only time where I can fit in her schedule. She's either going to Tai Chi, or she's shopping, or she's having lunch with this friend or that friend, or whatever. So she's used to really being on the go. So while living in a Gibbons community, she is having to social distance. She's not being able to have all of her friends come over and play cards in her apartment anymore, which she does miss, but it's the sign of the times. But she is able to have her certain little routines every day. For instance, we talk about 3 times a day, and we're trying to learn FaceTiming. We have not mastered that yet. Well, I get to see her ceiling every day. Whenever we try to talk, she's waving the phone like this, just talking. So I don't see her. I see her at the ceiling, but it's hilarious. But anyway, I do get glimpses of her. She looks great. So we try to set little goals every day. What is your goal today? This morning, her goal was she's making out a grocery list because she's got shopping that will be done for her. And then her goal is to take a 15-minute nonstop walk. She wears her little Fitbit, and her goal is 5,000 steps a day just to get up and moving around. And her other goal is to make shrimp pasta salad, which I am in complete support of because I know that I'll be getting some of that. So she has a friend of hers, Barbara. They cut up every day, and Barbara lives in another end of the building, and so they can see each other from their windows. So they wave from their windows, or they flash their lights off and on. They do checkpoints. They check in with each other. They talk on the phone. She's going down getting meals and getting her mail. She sees people. She sees friends. She goes, Leslie, it's a big deal to have somebody say your name. When you live by yourself, it means a lot to hear somebody say, hey, Lorna, that's her name. She just finds that very, very important. So she feels safe. That's the most important part to me for her, is that she does feel safe, and she loves it there. She's so glad that she's not still living in Charlotte and not being able to get out at all and being alone and lonely. Her doctor called her and said, let's have your doctor's appointment over the phone. They have all these plans in place that should mother get sick or have something, whether it's COVID related or not, they already have everything in place. And the doctor even called me to verify what the plans were so that we're all on the same page. So that makes me feel safe. So not only do I work for Gibbons, I have a family member that's my world at Gibbons, and I get to see it from both sides. And I'm
amazing.
So honored.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you, Leslie. We appreciate it. I did want to recognize 2 other people that are on our call today. Jean LaRoe is the Sales and Marketing Director at Gibbons. Jean, give us a wave. It's good to see Jean. Without Jean, all of these people would not be brought together for you. She's the mastermind, along with one of my team members, Kim Button. She's also she's got her picture up, but she's behind the scenes helping me run this Zoom. She just probably launched a poll there on the screen. But I wanted to thank both of you for coordinating such an amazing webinar. Obviously, the people that are on today, for all of us, can tell that they're passionate about what they do. They're passionate about seniors in particular. They're passionate about making sure that good information gets out there. And we really appreciate the time you've spent to coordinate this and to get all this put together. So thank you for doing that. Aaron, what a lovely little baby. So we'd like to thank everybody. We'd love to thank Leslie, Aaron, Ryan, of course, Chef Ryan, Carrie Lee. We'd love to thank you for the exercise help. Melissa, amazing quote and amazing way for you to wrap your information around it. And of course, Tammy, who kicked us off with some really great information as well. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. Great information. Please stay in touch with us, givinsestates.org. If you can, follow the Facebook page as well. Just search Givens Estates. And we'll be putting out new content. Look for new other opportunities to connect with us, either from a webinar or email. If you do want to get in touch with anybody in regards to possibly discussing your future at Givens, Leslie is obviously going to be your favorite friend, and she is to most people anyway. So she'll be a great resource for you. So thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Please stay safe. Please stay healthy and do everything you can to help other people. Thank you very much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.